Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Mystery Knitalong with myself, Neil, and my fabulous co-host.
And I'm Shauna. Just as we're getting started here, I'm going to point this out because I'm going to forget. That is the QR code to join our Telegram group where we are talking about the Mystery Knitalong that we're working on. Which, by the way, this week we are transitioning from Rougeau, which some people are still working on, over to the Mohair Mobile, which is the MKAL. There we go. We transitioned.
Magic.
Yes. Which is the one that Stephen West is currently doing. This is not one he normally does. So we might have 2 this year.
Yeah, well, we'll have his socks as well. So,
three.
Didn't he do this last year, though? He did
yes,
do it
but I don't
year,
believe it was a mystery. I think it was just kind of one of his yarn along, knit along kind of things.
Right. Well, so we've done, well, I say we. You have definitely, I know you've probably finished the whole shawl by now.
Oh, no.
Well, we've had clue 1, and I have to have a disclaimer. I'm going to give you every excuse under the sun. Obviously, I'm knitting the biggest size.
Of course you are.
Of course, everything's going to be the biggest size. But I've had a bit of a week this week, so I still haven't finished clue 1, but I've already started on clue 2 just because of reasons which I'll come into a bit later on.
That's an interesting tidbit of information, because how can you start clue 2 without finishing clue 1?
How might that be possible? Yeah, so I'm kind of in a strange, I feel very strangely about this shawl. I like it and I hate it in equal measures for different reasons. And I've got a feeling that once I get over this hump of literally the hump of you'll see what I mean in a minute, literally the hump. I think it's going to be a great knitting experience, but just at the moment, I am tired of it. It's hurting literally and figuratively. And but you don't seem to have had any problem. You've sailed through it.
I guess we can talk about probably the area that is a hang up for you. And I've heard a lot of people talking about that. And that is that there is a stitch that is a knit 3 together through the back loop. And it's not a straightforward knit 3 together through the back loop, because one of those 3 is a yarn over. And that does create some fairly tight stitches. And I will say it was much slower going for me than, a normal knitting or even knit 3 together. But I didn't struggle as much as some people seem to have been. So I'm curious to know, did you try? I suggested something to Neil that might make that better, but I was also worried that my suggestion might make it look too loose and sloppy. So have you tried that?
I did with 1 stitch, and I knew, as soon as I did it, I thought, no, this isn't going to work. I think it would have done if I'd have done it right at the beginning, if I hadn't have done another couple of those rows anyway, because I think it would definitely have looked different, when you looked at the whole thing. But I tried, so instead of doing the knit 3 together through the back loop, and again, the reason it is difficult, that stitch isn't a problem generally. It is just because of that yarn over in the middle. Is I tried doing the slip 2, knit 1, pass the 2 back over, which is the same stitch, but just done slightly differently. I couldn't even do that. I could not get that 1 yarn over to go over.
To pass over, because it's so short.
Yeah. So what I ended up doing, and it's still difficult, I'm still not enjoying that row, but all I'm doing now is I'm doing a slip 1, and I'm doing that purl-wise. I'm not even slipping it knit-wise, which you're supposed to. Then I'm knitting 2 together, and then I'm passing that slip stitch back over. And I honestly think it's a lot easier. And I don't really think it's made a difference to how it looks, because I'm being consistent. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if we compared yours to mine, I'm sure yours does look better with that stitch. I'm sure, because
as long as it's consistent, no one's going to know. Yeah, that's the thing.
And here's the thing, because I was thinking about this last night, because I was thinking, would I ever in a million years knit this shawl again? knowing what like when you do a mystery, sometimes you think, oh yeah, I would knit this, if I'd have seen it as a finished piece. And I'm thinking I would, but only on one condition, and it was not to do those knit through. Do something different.
I swear, let me see if I can find the shawl. I feel like we did this stitch with.
We did it on
which one? I can't think which one it is. It's the. Isn't it this one? Oh well, I'm not seeing it right now, so I don't know.
We definitely did it on the socks. His mystery socks had a row.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Because I remember we were both moaning about that at the time, but obviously there weren't as many, because and you only had that one round, and it was done, and then you kind of forgot about it for however long. Whereas this, I'm kind of got to the point where I'm dreading it, which has taken away that enjoyment a little bit. So that's why I think, no, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do with it, because I'd rather that than.
It doesn't help that your rows are getting longer either, because it's more of them each time you do them. That being said, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's five rows of that stitch.
I've got 2.
So if you just go into it knowing it's going to be slow going, maybe you need to take a break, rest your hands, rest your fingers. I know some people are also, if they're using interchangeables on that second pass they go through, they're changing their right hand needle to a smaller needle to be able to fit into that stitch easier. The thing that I had recommended to Neil or suggested he try was to do a double yarn over on the pass through, and then when you come back to knit it, you would have to drop one of those yarn overs off. So essentially you would slide like the first 2 stitches over to your right hand needle, drop that second yarn over, slide them back, and then knit through the back loop.
Which is a great idea. I think as long as you've been consistent with it from the beginning, I think you will see a difference though. If you haven't started yet, maybe try that. Yeah. Yeah, but don't be, I mean, I know a couple of people have dropped out. They've stopped making it. One person I know has ripped it back completely. And I was trying to say to them, don't, because this next, as soon as I saw, we're only talking about clue 1, aren't we, at the moment? But as soon as I saw clue 2 yesterday, I realized, I thought, right, this is going to be a much easier knit compared to that first one. And I had to keep remembering the shawl we did in October last year. That first clue was, it wasn't that it was particularly difficult, but I remember that we did 6 scallops, didn't we?
It was Italy. Yeah.
Was it the 4th scallop or the 5th scallop? We all had a problem with that particular one because it was a slightly different thing. And I think we'd all had enough of it at that point. And then suddenly it went off in a different direction, literally. And, and then we were all right. And I think it's definitely it's an interesting difference between Jeanette's Rouge, where we had that really easy beginning. And then with this one, it's like, bang, you're right in the middle of the hardest bit of it. And then I think you get an ease off of the harder techniques, but then obviously you still got a lot to knit. So that's what I think is going to happen now, I think.
I have a thought for somebody who hasn't started those tiny bobble stitch rows yet. What if you skip the yarn over altogether and you're just doing the knits? So then when you come back on your pass, then you would do knit 2 through the back loop only. Now it is going to look different. It's not going to be as bobbly looking, but it would certainly be a lot easier knitting.
Yeah, it's definitely the yarn over. So I think even if you did, it still might be difficult, but I think even if you did like a knit front, back, front, that would create 3, wouldn't it, as well?
Well, no, because
but it still might be difficult to do but it might be worth trying it just to see if it's an easier option. I don't know what other options there would be to create 3 from 1, because that yarn over, it's the particularly short one. The other thing I did think about, this might be a bit of a difficult one in terms of getting your head around it, but to do it on the purl side, and then the yarn over on the purl side is going to go all around the needle rather than just, so it would just give a bit of extra space. But then you've got to work out the others.
And I don't even know if this would be possible. Could you do the yarn over the opposite way?
No, the yarn over on a knit side is a funny. If you do it like you would do it with a yarn. Well, for me, if you're in the comments and you know different, please correct me. But when you do the purl yarn over, you go all around the needle, don't you? you literally create a new stitch. Whereas when you do a yarn over with a knit stitch, you don't. You just kind of bring the yarn down. And if you do go all the way around, that's when you're creating a double yarn over, when you actually stitch into the next. Or you have to kind of balance it over the needle and hold it while you try and knit it. So it's a bit tricky.
Should we show what we're talking about so people have an idea? So we're not.
Yeah, we could be talking about anything, couldn't we?
I'm just going to show what I can of clue 1 without showing clue 2. But these little, for me, they're white. These little bumps are the knit 3 together through the back loop, which are a bit challenging.
So I don't know whether you can
Neil's,
see.
It's the dark teal.
Can you see any difference between your knit 3s together and my knit whatever I did?
I don't think so. You know, the main thing is like you're carrying the yarn over in the front, or the slip stitch. Is it not slip stitch? No, I don't know. The float. You're carrying the float in the front, so visibly. And I have seen a lot of people over in the Ravelry forum, several people have gotten that wrong, where they're bringing the float to the back, and it still looks okay, but it definitely, you're missing, I think, a really interesting piece.
Yeah, I think I know what he's doing. I think I know what his, I mean, this is the arrogance, my arrogance. I think I know what his visual thing is about this now. And I think I even know what shape it's going to be. But can I say?
Tanya says that she's glad she passed on this one. And I would have to say, Tanya, have you seen more than what we've shown so far? Because I think this is visually stunning so far. And maybe that's partially because of my colors, because I do love my colors. To me, my shawl is turning into an ocean. I love it with the waves and all that. But yeah, I would be curious to know if you've seen more than just what we've shown, because I think it is worth the pain of knitting those difficult rows.
Oh, it is a beautiful looking pattern. And I think it is going to be pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
If what I think. Well, it probably will be whether it's just what I think.
I was going to say, even if you're wrong, I think it's still going to be really good.
Yeah, because I think I've figured out what the mobile part of it, or mobile part of it is.
Now that I'm thinking back to, so Neil shared over in our Telegram group, which this is another reason to join the group, because we're going to reference things that we aren't necessarily going to show here. But Neil posted a spoiler that he drew of what he thinks is going to happen with this shawl. And I think now that I'm looking at my shawl and remembering your drawing, I don't think that's possible.
Well, you don't think it is, or you think it is?
I don't think so, because I don't think that there's enough knitting going that direction. I don't think there's possible to be enough knitting going that direction.
Yeah, I think, I see what you're saying. But it might be duplicated.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like alternated or something. Because what I
just mean yarn. I don't think we have enough yarn to make it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, right, I'll scrunch that bit up so you can't see too much. But this is the clue 1 bit that I've done. I've not finished clue 1 yet. But so that starting bit, where it's those sort of semicircles, I think that is supposed to be the mobile.
Oh, for sure.
And all of these, I think this is the air turbulence made by the mobile moving, or it's the lights shining off the mobile. You know, you imagine it was made out of silver or gold or whatever, and it's all the light reflections off it. So I think what comes next will also be like the same kind of shapes as this initial beginning bit. So, and I think it'll be cables. I think there's going to be cabling, or at the very least, those twisted stitches that travel. Yeah. Because I think we do have a cable needle thing, don't we?
Sorry, I forgot about that. Tanya says that she is a product knitter versus a process knitter, and she doesn't wear shawls, so she doesn't really want the product, which I totally understand. I am such a process knitter. For me, it's all about the process. I don't care about wearing it. I probably never will. Maybe once, I love the process. I love learning new stitches, trying new stitch patterns, and I love it all.
That's a really interesting point, isn't it? Because we're both process knitters, I think.
Yes.
because I very rarely, well, I very rarely finish anything, because once I've done that process, it's like, all right, okay, I want a new process, So that's why these mystery things work so well for me. And obviously for you, because you've been doing them for years now, haven't you?
Yeah. Speaking of finishing things, Neil, where are you on Rougeau?
Well, I know it's a knitting podcast. I am going to tell you what my week has been like, just to give you an idea. So last Wednesday, I suddenly started with this unbearable pain in my side. It's just under my ribs on the right-hand side. And I convinced myself it was gallstones. I was absolutely convinced, because I do have gallstones, but I've never really had any problems with them. Anyway, it kept me awake all night. I was ill. I had a fever with it. I was in bed. I think it was maybe 2 days in and out of bed. I didn't even pick up my needles. That's how I knew I was ill. I didn't eat and I didn't pick up my needles. We did the interview with Jeanette on Friday, which we'll have to talk about in a minute as well. And I was actually in agony during that. And as soon as we finished, I said to you, I'm sorry, Shauna, I'm going to have to just go. And I just went to bed. So I kind of, when you put all of your energy into that, making sure you're there.
Well, I appreciate you not leaving me high and dry, because that.
Well, if it hadn't have been for Jeanette coming on, I probably would have said to you, can we miss it that week? But I'm glad we didn't. I realize now I was able to just push through, and just get on with it and be a big boy about it. But anyway, so I had all this pain. Anyway, it turned out on the Wednesday, so it was a full week, I think, and I'd been trying to knit the project. And so obviously with the physical pain that I was in, plus the sort of emotional pain of that knit 3 2 together thing, I was just like hating every minute of it, hating every second of knitting. And then I found out I'd just touched my back by accident and realized I had a pain spot on my back. So where I thought the pain was going from the front to my back, it was actually my back, and the pain was radiating to the front. And as soon as I realized that, I knew it wasn't gallstones, and it was some kind of a knot, from either sitting in the wrong position, sleeping wrong, or even knitting. So I put
something like that wouldn't give you a fever. So I think you had multiple things going on.
Yeah, unless the only thing I can think is that it was something that I might have had that fever first without realizing it, and then and I'd done something to my back in the process of going to bed. Or I can't even really remember now, because it feels like it was all, when you're ill, because I was genuinely ill. So anyway, I immediately went online. I'll show you this. No rude comments, people. I know what your minds are like. So I ordered this. And basically, I just absolutely leathered my back with it, and it hurt a lot. And but I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and I kept putting this gel on that I've got, and I'm not kidding. The next day, the pain had gone. Completely gone.
Yeah,
I can still feel a twinge every now and again. I know it's not completely gone. So I don't know what it is, but obviously it wasn't anything more serious, because I almost went to A&E, and
I was telling Neil, I don't care that you have to pack and do all these things. Like, you need to get to the hospital.
Because I'm one of the people, I was putting every barrier, oh, well, the cats, I can't because of the cats, I can't because of this. And, and it's like, well, if you're going to die, you're going to die. They're not going to wait for the cats on it. So anyway, so that was that. So that's why all of that kind of hindered me. But also, here's another excuse. We should have a section every week. What is Neil's excuse this week? But also, my cat's been ill, and because of being sick, I had to cancel one vet appointment, and then the next vet appointment, which was supposedly on Monday. So I was still in pain on Monday, but I thought I'm going to have to take him. I went to put him in his carry case, and the door of the carry case was missing, and I just couldn't find it. So I had to ring the vet and pretend he'd hidden, because I couldn't say I can't find, the door of the carry case.
That cat hid your door. He did.
Yeah, definitely. So I ended up ordering a material carry case with a zip. That arrived. Sorry, this is a long story. We will get there in the end. So it arrived the same day, because I did it Amazon same day delivery. Great, brilliant. I didn't open it because I thought, if I open it now, he's going to know what it is and he'll avoid it. So on the morning of the day, I gets it up, puts it together, brilliant. Gets it. What I do to get him in the carry case, I have to let him go out in the hallway, because he loved being out on the communal hallway outside. I just let him do that, and then I close the door, and then he's got nowhere to hide, because if he's in my flat, he can hide in a million places that I can't reach. So anyway, got him in, no problem at all. Got him to the vets. so they think he's got allergies, like, to a lot of things. So they've given him a steroid injection, which has worked. So that's the good thing about it. Anyway, driving home, I'm nearly at the end, right? And he was crying and crying and crying in the car coming home. And I'd sort of put the seatbelt through his carry case, so he was on the chair next to me. So I thought, I'll just open the zip a tiny bit and just put my finger in so he can sniff that it's me, because I could feel like he rubbed his face against my finger. Anyway, next thing I'm going round a roundabout, my finger's still in, and I thought, oh shit, and I was sort of really, hand on wheel. And I looked and his head was out, because I just didn't think that if you push against a zipper, it'll open. Within seconds, he was out in the car, loose. And I was just like...
All I can picture is him like clawed around your face and you can't see. Like...
Well, that's what I was afraid of, and I thought I was afraid of that. And I was afraid of him getting under my feet, where the pedals are. And anyway, so I just thought, right, I can't even think about him being loose. I've just got to concentrate on getting home. Because then I was thinking, what am I going to do then? So anyway, gets where home, managed to get a parking space. And then I stopped and I looked inside the carry case and my heart just sank. Because he'd vomited all inside the carry case. And I hadn't even heard him, noticed. So then I was like, luckily I keep, why, I don't know, but I keep disinfectant, cleaning, wet wipe type things in the car, and also little bags for some reason. I don't know why, in case I have food that I want to get rid of. So I was able to get most of it out. And then I realized it was on the blanket. So I took the blanket out and threw that away. And then I had to get him in the car, in the carry case with the car door open, because he'd gone right under the back of the back seat, because I didn't even know that space existed, but there's a whole storage space under the back seat of those cars. Anyway, I managed to get him in, and I got scratched to death doing it, and then I got him in. So the point of telling you all that is that beforehand he's been really clingy, and every time I've sat down and tried to pick up the knitting, he's been on my knee. So I've had that to stop me doing it as well. So there's my excuse for this week. So...
Let's see what Neil can drum up for next week. What kind of fantastical story is he going to give us?
Sorry, that probably took about 20 minutes, didn't it? So there we go.
Are y'all still here?
Yeah, welcome to my show, the show of my life. Yeah, so I'm fully expecting this coming week to be much easier. Good. On every front. Yeah, sorry, Annie, she said very elaborate. Yeah. That was me trying to make it quick. But I've got some more life news though, which is more related to the shawl. Annie, so Annie is Stitch in the Sky. Everyone should follow her, by the way. She's got her own show. We're actually meeting up tomorrow because we're going to a yarn festival in central Manchester. And Stephen West is going to be there. And if we can get there early enough, we can book into his talk. He's doing a talk for about an hour and a half, I think, on how to choose colours for projects. So I imagine it's going to be interesting. You don't have to pay for that. You have to pay to go, entry, but you don't have to pay for his talk. But I've got a feeling that's why everybody will be going. You know what I mean? So everybody's going to want it. So there's no guarantee.
Bring your shawls in case you get a chance to get a picture with him.
Well, I was thinking
mystery shawls.
Yeah, I was gonna. I think I'll wear the one that I did in October, but I might take this because now I know what Clue 2 is. There's some bits of Clue 2 that you could do without having to think.
Definitely.
So I can take that along with me and knit while we're there. So so I've told Annie, to watch what I buy. Because I'm going to end up buying stuff I don't need. I know that.
Like a spinning wheel? Yeah. Annie, get him a spinning wheel.
Yeah, Annie can buy me a spinning wheel by all means. Just don't let me buy one at the moment. Yeah. So anyway, I've talked enough, so you can do a bit of talking for a bit.
Well, I don't know that I have a whole lot more to say other than I did compile a video, and if you were here last week, well, you wanted to talk about Jeanette's thing. Did you want to say anything more about that?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say, if you haven't seen last week's episode, even though I've been saying how ill I was, please watch it because I think it was really good. I think we did a good job with her, didn't we? And she was such a good guest.
Yeah.
So she talked about all of the design process and all of that. Talked about a lot of stuff. And it was just really easy. I don't know about how you felt.
She was very open and very forthcoming with like her design process and how fast she can knit a sweater and design a sweater, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely check that out. But what I was going to say is I came up with our video for this week that's going to show both. We had 2 entries for Ruju, just updates since the last one, and then mostly the mystery Mohair mobile. But I made this video a little bit differently than I have in the past, which in the past, I essentially put the photos into the video in the same order that they came into the Telegram group. But this time, which took a little bit more effort, I have made them so that it's kind of chronological to the person. So some people have the spoiler photos, kind of like what we've done, mimicking Steven's different poses and whatnot, to their yarn choices, to their section 1, section 2, finished clue 1, you know, that kind of thing. So I would like to know feedback, please, either in the live chat or on the replay, if you prefer the sporadic where, say, Neil posts something early on and then later, you know, he pops up twice, or do you like where it is together? Because it is more work, but I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, that means I have to do it as well when it's my turn to do it.
Yes.
Thanks, Shauna.
You're welcome. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I know. No, we've got to do it right, haven't we? Yeah, this is why it's nice doing things with Shauna, because when I've done, not to put anybody down, but when I've done collaborations with other people, when we do videos and stuff, other people aren't generally tech savvy, and I'm not particularly tech savvy, so it's kind of all lands on me to do everything, and it's just so nice that Shauna just does stuff, you know, and you're capable of doing, you know. I know that sounds weird because you're obviously very capable, aren't you? But it's a proper 50-50 thing, isn't it? You know, whereas with others, it's always me having to do all the background stuff, so it's nice. Although I've let you do it far too many times now, haven't I? I've definitely been sitting back. So, shall we play it?
Neil is knitting the biggest size, so I guess I pick up that slack.
Yeah, you know, Shauna, one day you should knit the biggest size as well, just so you know what it's like.
Well, what will I do with
it? Well, do you wear it now?
Oh, good point. But I mean, hey, I am wearing a hand knit sweater. By the way, this is the Flax Worsted by Tin Can Knits, and I just put in stripes myself. The only thing I wish different about this that I didn't do is the short rows, because for some reason on this pattern, they do the short rows after splitting for the sleeves, which with the stripes, it just didn't work out. But I do love this sweater, and I have actually worn it a lot for me, and not wearing my hand knits.
I've seen you in it a lot, yeah. It's a great sweater, because you knitted that for the calendar, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It's just super, super warm, easy to wear. You know, a neutral gray base with just the pops of color. It's very wearable. So it's one of my favorites.
Right. Shall we play the video?
Yeah, let's do it. And the abrupt ending.
Well,
I still don't know how to end those any better.
Yeah, Art just said, "Oh, could you just brush past mine really quickly?" So I think we should leave it on the screen for as long as possible.
Oh yeah, you're getting all the seconds, Archer.
He's done such a good job of that. I think he's really good. Anyway, there we go. I'll just put the put the Telegram thing back up. Yeah, I love the way you did that. I think that was really good.
Yeah, well, thank you. I like that too. And I especially like when people have their spoiler pictures that they've done, because it's really nice to put a project to the person, I think, rather than when you have it sporadic, it's kind of, you forget what belongs to who. And I don't know, I just like that better.
Oh, I had a comment on my excuse. That's the best excuse I've heard. Yeah, it took me a whole week to come up with that. Annie liked it, so
good. Yeah, Tanya liked it together too. So I will continue to keep doing it that way for as long as it's practical. So probably going into next week, so that we don't have a 7-minute long video, I'll keep the spoiler photos for the person if there is one, or if you want to add one, there's still time. I'm happy to put that in there, and then I'll take some of those beginning stages ones away and just start more with. Well, pretty much anything you post after this video will go into the next one.
Yeah, and the other thing we can do, I mean, people who do these videos, we can make the amount of time that the picture's on the screen's bigger or smaller, you know, like longer or shorter, I should say. So the ones that have already been shown, we can make them quicker. And then
I could do that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I really like that feeling of seeing a progression. Because I think you showed, was it Brenda's? You showed the I-cord. And then
she posted the photo.
Yeah, but no, it was great because it's like, you see, you know, because the whole thing, because that I-cord start as well. Sorry, I'm going back on now, but we're still talking about clue 1. That I-cord start was a bit of a toughie as well.
It was, yeah.
And I think for people that don't try and, you know, you've just got to get over it, haven't you? You've just got to sit there and do it. And I did it half one night and half the next night. You know,
well, I know some people had talked about using the I-cord makers, and I think they did that with varying success, either too tight or too loose, or I don't know, but I knit mine stitch by stitch. So
yeah, I found, because I've got an I-cord maker, and it was great. It came out beautifully, the most neat I-cord you've ever seen, but it was too tight. But luckily the maker I've got, you can take the hooks out and replace them. So I'm just going to take the tight hooks out and get much bigger ones. Oh, you've got you've got plenty of people who like that way. Yeah, there you go. So
good. I thank you for the feedback. I really do appreciate that, because you know, making that, I was like, man, this is taking more time. Is it worth it? What are people going to think? So I do appreciate you chiming in, because sometimes I doubt myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because I was watching, I don't know anyone else who watches it, but I watch Roxanne Richardson, and every year she does a finish it February. So at the end of February, she then does one episode where it's literally just everybody's work that they finished. And for me, I don't watch it because I don't find that interesting. However, when we're doing it on here, I'm really interested, but is that just because I'm invested in it?
Well, the difference is we're all knitting the same things versus just random projects. That's what I think, you know, and I do think it is very interesting to see how different people's colors are knitting up. You know, we've all pretty much got a different color palette. You know, there's some that are similar. And of course, I'm drawn to everyone knitting the pinks. I love them all. But Brenda has gone outside of the box, so to speak, where she's just using 2 colors, and it looks fantastic.
Hers is pink, isn't it? Is pink one of her colors?
Yeah, of course. I love it.
Well, the one thing I would say, if I was going to knit this again, is, you know, the starting semicircles. I would do all of them in a really bright color, and then let your colors kind of radiate softer from that. You know, and obviously I think that's the aim, because you knit those double, don't you? So the aim is they would be more saturated anyway.
Right. So speaking of those, these are held double, and I'm hoping we have more spots where we're holding our Mohair double, because as we know, Neil and I are not using Mohair, but I really like the color saturation of those sections, and everywhere else it's less, obviously.
Yeah, when you hold that particular yarn together, it's really nice yarn to knit with. It's perfect yarn, actually. I really like it. But on its own, this is the other reason. This is one of my other excuses. I'm really struggling because I'm Portuguese knitter. I have it round my neck, so my tension is just naturally much tighter than you know, if you were using continental or throwing, and it just keeps breaking. Like literally every row it breaks, and I have to rejoin. And I did manage to. So if I knit really slowly and gently, I can do it. So that's taken a bit of the enjoyment out of it. But what I've been doing is I've just realized, I thought I don't have to do what he's saying. You know what I mean? I can use whatever combination of the yarns I want to. So we're jumping to clue 2, but let's just say in clue, well, this doesn't give much away. I'll show you my one main color. So my main color is this. Now, if I hold that double with, you know, the yarn that Shauna gave me, I find it very thick and a bit clumsy to work with. So I've just decided that I have 2 main colors. So, and that's a mohair that I've kind of had in stash that I've been wanting to use. So I'm just using what feels right at the time. And because I just think it's not going to make a huge difference to how it looks. It's just going to look a little bit different. And also I am getting some mohair in there, but it's not where it's supposed to be. I've kind of swapped it the other way around. So, so that's making it a bit easier for me as well. And I've also got another mohair just in the back, just in case.
This is the contrast color yarn that Neil and I are both using. It's Knit Picks Chroma Lace. It's a single, so a lace weight single, not a lot of ply twist at all. And I have not had it break, but it is on the flimsier side. So I could totally see too much tension why it would do that. I love how the gradient is looking. I could not be happier.
Well, do you know what I've been wondering? Because it's a gradient, I'm starting to think, should I just stick with one and let it run out, because it's changing color anyway. Yeah. And what I found just in 1 or 2 places is that, I can show you here, you'll see what I mean, is that a couple of them are kind of, I don't know whether you can see there, actually, they're looking very different now, but the gray is almost identical.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful, you can end up carrying on that same color for quite a while. So I think I might do that, because they're beautiful colors, and the way they transition.
So are we wanting to show clue 2?
Well, what do you say in the chat, guys? Should we show our clue 2s? I bet. Have you finished yours, by the way?
No, but I am over halfway.
Yeah, like the way you reacted, that is if to say, how, what do you think I could? And he's like, yeah, you're nearly there. You'll be finished by today, won't you?
What row am I on? I'll tell you what row I'm on. Let's see here, if my iPad will open. I'm on row 29 out of 40.
Right. I think I'm on row 10 or 11, I think.
So people are saying yes, show. But before we do that, I do want to say something about clue 1. So a lot of times with the MKALs, there'll be a knitter who is not affiliated with the MKAL at all, but they're good at doing spreadsheets, and they will make a spreadsheet where you literally can check off each row that you do, and it will tell you what percentage you're done, how many total stitches, how many stitches you need to knit per day to keep up to be done with it. The clue. I mean, they're really fantastic. I don't know how to do that. I am not that skilled, even though I do okay with spreadsheets. I can't do that. So nobody did that this time. And I did a rough count of how many stitches. And what I can tell you is that clue 1 is over 23,000 stitches.
Wow.
Clue 1 for Mystery MKAL was under 13,000 stitches. So if that gives you any idea, I mean, we literally knit almost twice as much for clue 1 of this shawl that we did for clue 1 of Mystery MKAL.
He's really testing us with that clue 1, isn't he? Well, because
to be honest, the majority of that knitting is pretty easy. It's just those few rows that, kick your butt.
Yeah, and there's a lot more purling, isn't there, in that clue 1? So if you're not happy with, I mean, I enjoy purling. I prefer it, actually. But if you're someone who finds purling, more difficult, it is going to slow you down. Yeah. But what's been great about so yeah, I don't know whether I mentioned this already, but I think I mentioned it in the Telegram chat. Is that so obviously we're going to be giving away a spoiler for Clue 2 now. So you basically are able to work Clue 1 and Clue 2 from this point on at the same time, more obviously not physically at the same time, but you could work one row of one and then go to Clue 2 and work a row. So what I decided to do was, because Clue 1 in my mind is so much easier, is I'm getting as much of Clue 2 done as I can, because I know how hard I've been finding Clue 1. So
well, you know what you should do? You should knit one of those difficult rows, or a portion of a difficult row for Clue 1, and then when your hands are ready for a break, go to Clue 2, because Clue 2 truly is like as much of a rest period as you can get. I think he designed this really well, because he knew that people would not be finishing Clue 1 necessarily on time. So with Clue 2 being much shorter and easier, that really gives people a chance to catch up.
Yeah, because I can really see, realistically, getting both clues done before Clue 3's out, and possibly even finishing the Rouge You Sleeve, but I'm not going to commit to that just yet.
Barring any cat emergencies.
Yeah, because there's got to be something, hasn't there? I'm going to have to. I'll start thinking hard on my excuses.
All right.
Shall we
Are we ready to show it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a. Yours is easier to see, I think, than mine, isn't it? Yeah, so it's a lot of garter, isn't it?
Yes, it's all garter, which I love.
Great. Yep. And then just like there's just the increases and decreases on whatever that row is, which helps the curve.
We still have the eyelets.
Yeah, and that's actually a fun row to do, because it's interesting.
That's the one row I screw up. Not always, but if I screw up on that, it is because I have forgotten. Like, you'll do decrease stitches, and then you'll have just knit a few stitches, and then you'll have your eyelets, and then you knit a few stitches, and then more decreases. And I'm always forgetting the knit a few stitches. And so then by the time I get to the end, I'm like, where did I screw up?
Well, I've been doing the marker thing, so I've worked out how many stitches are in that repeat. And then I know I only have to rip back one section. It's I'll make yours. Yours is much clearer to see, so I'll make you a bit bigger.
So what I wanted to say is I have changed the colors for each section that you're supposed to change, but within those color changes, like, you can still see a variation of color. I don't know. I just absolutely love these colors, which is so funny, because had I bought yarn, I never would have picked a palette like this ever.
Yeah, yours has worked particularly well, hasn't it? I think with mine, because we have the same, everything's the same except for our main color. So I've got that much darker one. I think I prefer yours, because mine, I just feel mine's all just very.
Yeah, I mean, they're both nice. The thing is, either one would be very wearable, like color-wise, very wearable.
I just feel like I'm missing a pop of something really different. You know, like
every time you do a pop, then you're like, I don't know if I actually like it.
Well, I have been tempted. I don't know whether I should, just to throw, because I've got a tiny bit left of that highlighter yellow mohair. And I just think, should I just throw that in somewhere? Oh, I'm losing stitches. That wasn't a good idea. Eek.
I bet you there will be a section where that would be easy to do.
Yeah, because I bet that would have looked great if I'd have done it on that very first bit.
I know this isn't like highlighter yellow, but in one of my yarns, which you also have that yarn, I just don't know if you have that color, but I have this really like springy green. It isn't as bright on the screen as it is in real life, but I don't know. I really like my colors.
Can you see? That's the spring green.
Yeah. So you mean you do have some color variation there. And if we get more sections where we are holding the two lace weights together, see, here's what I think is going to happen. And I can't tell you like in what stitch pattern it will be, but I think there's going to be sections where we marl the mohairs.
Oh.
Which for ours probably isn't going to make a big difference. But for some of them, that could look really cool.
Yeah, I hope there is, because I'll enjoy knitting that yarn together. You know, I hope there isn't much of it on its own at this point.
I struggled with those rows of the lace on its own, just because the stitches are so much smaller. You really have to be careful. And I was splitting stitches too.
What size needles did you use for this?
3.75.
See, I went to a 4mm, which is about right because you're tight knitter, aren't you? But I'm a little bit tighter than you are, so that seems because
if I'm tight, Neil is really tight.
Yeah, if Shauna does big, I do really big. I just have to do one better all the time. Yeah, I don't know if you can see there just how well, you can see me through it.
Yeah,
You know, that's how lacy it is.
Yeah.
Although I do like that material. I think it's going to be
too.
a really nice, a nice piece when it's finished.
I'm just pleasantly surprised that the mohair isn't necessary, because I was a little worried that, you know, mohair fills in those blank spaces really well, and this doesn't have that same fuzz factor. I was a little bit worried, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. My big complaint for myself is that I think it was too soon for me to start this. I think I needed a break, you know, after the rouge. Just not necessarily a break from knitting, but a break from having that deadline. You know, something just to knit mindlessly for a bit. But I think this is going to be our only one that we have in the year where it's concurrent anyway, isn't it? Because we weren't expecting it to go from one to the other.
So for those of you who are worried, you're behind on rouge or you're falling behind on this shawl and you're feeling overwhelmed, fear not, that we are going to have a break after this MKAL where we're not going to be doing any MKALs. And we still may get on here to talk about things. I don't know. We haven't decided that yet. But for sure, we're not going to have any pressure of deadlines or anything for a while. The next one that we're planning is the MKAL sock by Stephen, which we think is June-ish.
Yeah, I think it's either June or July, isn't it? One or the other. I mean, there may be something that comes up in the middle of that time where we think, oh, let's do that. You know, that might happen. But I'm definitely having a couple of weeks at least where I'm not doing an MKAL at least. So yeah, but I think we will still do. I don't know how well we can just talk about what we're knitting generally, can't we? And also we can show. Did you just say this? We can show people's catch up. Did you? Just say
absolutely.
That? Yeah.
I didn't just say that, but we've said that in the past.
Yeah, because I've got to catch up, and I know other people still haven't finished their rouge, and there'll definitely be people who haven't finished the shawl. So we'll be able.
You know, I still haven't taken finished object photos of my rouge. I was hoping to get that done this weekend. I may, and if that's the case, I will pop those into the Telegram group. So that will be in next week's video, or whenever the heck I get around to it. But it will be in a video at some point.
Yeah, because I think later in the year we definitely need to try and get one where everybody has theirs finished. You know, when we've got everybody, you know, with buttons and everything, because I think that's going to look so good.
And maybe you can email that, like take a shot of all of them together and email that to Jeanette. She would like that, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're on the school site, you've probably sent yours to the school site anyway, I would imagine, most people. So they're probably already in hers. Because when did she say she's doing her meetup thing, online meetup?
Oh, it's April 19th.
Right. So that's the date to head for to get everything finished for, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
You'll have to keep reminding me of that because I'll forget. Trying to think what else. Oh, if I should see Stephen West tomorrow, because we're hoping, you know, we might, if we can, maybe even get a photo evidence, you know. Is there anything you want me to say to him?
Oh my gosh.
What insults do you want me to shout at him?
No, don't insult him.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just very jealous. I think that's so awesome.
Well, he's in America quite a lot, isn't he? Well, it's whether he's
nowhere near me. And let's be honest, if he was going to be near me, it would be Portland, and I'm not going there.
Yeah, to be fair, I think where the venue is about 2.5 miles from my house.
Oh wow!
You know, so I think maybe 3. I'm not. I always get confused because Manchester city centre is 2 miles from where I live. But various parts of Manchester, it's not always right, you know, because you've got to go out of Manchester a little bit or whatever. So it's going to be between 2 and 4 miles. So I could, you know, you could walk it. So I've got no excuse for not going, really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I think what Annie's going to be doing, I think she's going to be recording bits of what happens on the day. So I don't quite know how she's going to do that yet. I don't know whether we'll be able to record anything of Stephen West. I imagine we might not be able to do that.
Yeah.
and then she'll be showing that whenever she's edited it, which usually is on a Monday. Oh, she said, yeah, I think we need to give a bit of kudos to her. She's actually going to be traveling 122 miles for this.
It's worth it, Annie.
So poor Annie is going to be up at the crack of dawn. So what we've already arranged, I've said to her, if I don't send you a text by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is the moment she gets on her train, I said, you know, I've overslept, so you need to ring me to get me out of bed.
Yeah.
So poor Annie's going to be up, and she'll be, she'll have to have matchsticks on her eyes to keep herself awake. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good day, because I've never been to a yarn festival. I've never been to one.
I've been to the same one 3 times, but it's every year is a little different. But yeah, they are pretty overwhelming. Hopefully yours is better than the one I've been to. It's okay, but I went not long after COVID, and just a lot of people weren't there, vendors and things. So
wow. Carrie, I would love to live there.
Yeah.
My closest neighbor is literally about 3 feet away from me, up and down. When you go to the toilet, there's somebody above and somebody below.
Mine might be 50 feet, but yeah, not far.
Wow. I can't imagine that. That must be quite scary as well, though. Imagine that at the middle of the night.
It'd be peaceful and wonderful.
Yeah. Wow. So going back to the festival thing. So the thing I'm a little bit worried about, which I think Annie's going to be good for me for this, is that this happens to me even if I walk into a wool shop. I do get overwhelmed with the wool. I just stop seeing it. I know that sounds weird. I think I must have some form, bit of autism in there or something. So I've just got this feeling that I will just be walking around looking at everything and not actually buy anything, which I don't want to spend a fortune, but I do want to get something that I like. You know what I mean? I'm just like, well, what's the point of going otherwise, So I do find that visual overloading and all those people sometimes.
I have a couple suggestions or ideas for you, Neil, if this works for you. Yeah. So the first one I already mentioned to you, but it might be useful to somebody else. And that is to go to the festival with yarns that you've already decided for projects that you want to make. Like, say you have a sweater you want to make. Write down for your size how much yardage you would need, of what weights of yarn, if it needs yarns held together, all those things. Just write down the details. That way you're not trying to look them up at the time. Obviously for Neil, having your colors, if you don't know them off the top of your head, like having a quick chart, that'd be a good thing. And then the other thing is, I've done this where at a festival, if I like a yarn, but say I'm trying to be, budget conscious, or I just I want to look at everything before I decide on this thing, I will take a picture of both the booth, like the company name, and the yarn that I'm interested in. That way, if I want to come back and find it, I can remember, because once you look at 10, 20, 30, 50 booths, you're not going to remember where that yarn is that you love, that you saw. So it can definitely help.
That's really good idea. Yeah. BS has said something similar. I print off the yarn pattern page with the yarn yardage that I need. Well, it's really interesting you saying that, because you showed me a pattern today that I really like. It's a man's sweater, wasn't it? And it's very similar. Is it a broken rib pattern?
Is that the waffle one? Yeah. I think it's unisex. What the heck was that called? I can tell you.
And I really like that. So I'm thinking I might get that pattern, and I might get some yarn for that.
It's called the Innkeeper Sweater.
That's it. That's the one.
And that is by Hook Mountain Handmade. And that's a DK weight. But yeah, it's just super cozy, waffly looking, like perfect for cold weather.
So Annie says, I will try to help. And then, literally a sentence later, I just buy what I like. No rules.
That's helpful. Just buy it all, Neil.
Yeah, I'll just say, here's my credit card, Annie. Just buy everything. Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a fantastic time, and I cannot wait to hear next week how it went.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get any footage of Stephen West. I'll try and see if we can put that on the show next week as well, because I think I'm going to take this along with me.
Yeah, BS says we need a full report. We do. And we can tell Neil's really good at telling stories, detailed stories.
Well, it'd just be all the excuses of why we never actually got to see Stephen West. Because I bet you any money something's going to happen where we don't. You watch.
No, you have to make it.
But it's always good meeting people, you know, your knitter friends, you know what I mean? It's always good actually meeting them. If you know, because I know a lot of people don't get that opportunity. You know, you don't.
Well, that's the thing. Going to a festival with someone is a much better experience than going alone, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, BS says to take lots of pictures. Yeah, we're going to, definitely. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention about it, really. Oh, the other good thing about it is that I'm just going to collect all of the business cards of all the yarn dyers because...
that's smart.
Yeah, because I think we should all be buying from our own countries now. Do you know what I mean? Buy British, buy American. So I'm only going to be buying British. And it's just trying to find yarn dyers that I like, you know. So, yeah, and spinning wheels. So before we mentioned that, and I just want to show what people were saying. You're all enablers. You are. You're
so yeah, we are. That's why we get along so well.
So when we were saying about, you know, don't let me buy a spinning wheel, and Annie's like, yeah. And then Brenda, yes, buy a spinning wheel.
Yeah.
Buy the wheel. You know.
Yeah. It's a consensus, Neil. Get the wheel.
Yeah, you don't care if I'll be homeless because I can't afford my rent, do you? BS is saying you need the friend you can help talk you out of buying things or talk you into buying things. Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you do need persuasion either way.
That's true. So I think, have you got any other business that you want to bring up?
I don't think so. The last thing I will say, my parting words, is please, please, please put your photos in the Telegram group because I'm happy to add those to the video. And if you need a reminder, the link is right there. And what else was I going to say about that? Oh, yeah. If you are so inclined to do one of the mimicking Steven spoiler photos, I love those. They make me so happy. So, yeah, please do those.
Yeah. I was thinking about, you know, being a narcissist, you know, I was looking at the one where I did the frying pan with the yarn. I was just thinking that picture, I look like I love that frying pan of yarn more than anything. I thought, I've never loved anything as much as that frying pan. I just think I love that he does those and I wish I mean, we'll have to try and talk Jeanette into doing something similar because there's a whole other aspect of the fun of it that you get from doing those.
You know what I truly love is like I have such a serious job and I tend to just be like a more serious person. And so it's just an opportunity to just be silly and goofy. And I don't have to think of the pose, right? I'm just mimicking what Steven already did. So the creativity part is kind of out of it for me, which I appreciate because I'm just not that kind of creative type of person, but I can mimic what he does. And I just think it's so fun.
And also it's like, you know, we all look as bad as each other, don't we? You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how goofy you look.
No, it's not about looking good. It's just truly the fun of it.
Yeah. So we're going to try and hopefully we'll have enough to do a little video of its own of just those pictures because I think they're so good. And we've got our own, we're going to have a few coming out as thumbnails that you haven't seen yet, I think. Or have they seen? I don't know. Some people may have seen them. I don't know. So each thumbnail is going to be different.
Still. Yeah.
Oh, and we're dead on an hour, so I think we'll finish for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Sorry I gave the whole long story earlier, but there you go. It is what it is. And I'll see you all next week.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.